was told by people that are used to looking at quality riding that when they saw me ride afterwards that they saw a difference. I'm known as a beautiful rider even before this time, but there was something a little special that let me be closer with a horse, and I could move with a horse even better.
The very first time I got on my horse, after my somatic session, my pelvis was remarkably more open and more relaxed in the saddle, and I had a better awareness of my seat bones, of my movement.
I've noticed that on a day that's particularly taxing or stressing to my lower back, I feel it through the day, and it gets worse as the day goes on. And if I can concentrate on my somatics and if I can focus on doing a few reps of those, I'll wake up in the morning and it'll be completely gone.
Hey there, Somas. Ryan Moschell here. I'm here with another episode of Somatics on the Move. I'm a certified HANA Somatic educator and the owner of Somatic Health Solutions. In this episode, I will be focusing on athletes. Stay tuned and you will hear success stories from somatically trained athletes, learn a few somatic maintenance movements, and find out how you can get started today. In my practice, I work with both professional and amateur athletes who continue to tell me about their remarkable success with both learning an adaptability skill and gaining greater awareness with HANA Somatic education. One of the reasons I've found somatics so successful is as a somatic educator, I'm working with preventing, alleviating, and reversing just one thing that can affect many things in a person's life. Is called sensory motor amnesia. Sensory motor amnesia can come from the chronically contracted muscles when we react to things such as stress, trauma, pain, and sameness that can happen in everyday life. The athletes that I work with continue to tell me that my individual sessions and clinics offer regular discipline to preventatively prepare them while they train, teach on-the-spot skills to continue to excel during competition, help them to recover more efficiently, cultivate increased longevity in their athletic career, and they continue to feel more comfortable during their daily life. Once you get started, you may find that Somatic Health Solutions can offer you the competitive edge that you've been looking for. I recently wrote an article for January 2016 edition of Dressage Today. My article, The Training Between Your Training, gives an overview of HANA Somatic education and focuses on how athletes can unconsciously train their muscles into chronic tension patterns during the activities of daily life. These tension patterns can stay tight and begin to limit their ability to move freely and perform at their very best. I'll let the testimonials of my students speak for themselves, as these equestrian athletes have expressed how individual sessions and group movement clinics have helped them not only in their riding, but in their daily lives.
Because I was desperate enough that I had this steady pain in my lower back, and I felt like my body started to move around that pain and avoided the pain.
Rather than let go of something, I would put too much tension and hypertense things.
When I got up in the morning and went downstairs, I would have to lean on the banister. The first couple of steps were painful.
And for me as an equestrian, I find that I'm far more in tune with my body, my balance on the horse, my cross diagonals, my shoulders, my hips, my body weight. Essentially, it's made me much more comfortable in the saddle.
But the biggest difference was in the hip and how my lower back can be tense and tight and stiff, and you've helped me work through using a better range of motion in the pelvis rather than fixing it into one position and getting stuck.
I really surprised Felicitas one day when I sat the trot like I never had before, even surprised myself. So I'm just finding my body can do things that it couldn't do.
As we were working, particularly with leg movements, I realized how much softer my hips got and how much more independent the legs and the hips and everything could move. And I started to feel a dramatic difference in how I could sit on the horse, how much closer I was with the horse. And at this stage of my career, I had not hoped not to get another upswing like that. I rather thought things would wind down.
So it's replaced a lot of ibuprofen. My stomach is in better shape as a result.
In my search to get help for my back, I tried acupuncture, massage, I tried prolotherapy, I tried stretching. I had many different physical therapy approaches, chiropractic, and nothing felt like it was really giving me lasting relief, and I never felt like I had something, a weapon that I could use on my own to help myself.
I have worked with personal trainers, I have pounded on a treadmill, I have done gyrotonics, I've tried all sorts of different approaches to be better. And this particular approach has netted me the most impact, the most results, for really the least amount of effort.
I watched the videos and I realized that there's no way I can do these movements by myself. I need to find somebody who can help me to execute them the way they're meant to be.
Your first and best option should be my clinical somatic education sessions. We will address your specific limitations and complaints that come from sensory motor amnesia. I will train your brain with hands-on clinical techniques, guide your mind to a new awareness of your soma, and teach you somatic maintenance movements so that you can continue to access your neuromuscular potential between sessions and for the rest of your life.
"5 days after my first session, I went to give a seminar where I would usually sit in a white plastic chair. That was very uncomfortable. I would have to have pads behind my lower back to get stabilized. And I remember sitting in it and going like, without anything, it's the most comfortable chair I sat in a long time. And it was a shock because my lower back could relax enough to fill out this chair that I thought was a torture instrument, but also rewiring the way I would move, which later I could then tell in the way I turn or bend or all of this.
It was a very interesting, eye-opening, life-changing session. Gave me things to think about that I've never thought about before, and I find myself to be someone who's athletic, who's coordinated, who's in tune and in touch with my body, and it was another realm, a whole nother level for me to incorporate.
Finally, I made an appointment, came to see you, talked more about how my husband was crooked. And when you took pictures of me, I realized I was crooked. And then we worked for an hour, and I got up and I was not as crooked, and was quite amazed at the results of just one visit.
I teach somatic maintenance movements worldwide, both online and in person. Organize a group workshop where I can come to your farm or your riding club and teach you how to move somatically. Both the clinical somatic sessions and the movement clinics and workshops are teaching you how to retrain your brain to move out of tension and pain.
It's so encouraging to just get down on the floor and do a number of these movements, just 3 times. You don't have to kill yourself, but you do have to do it mindfully, and you have immediate results.
I would get on the floor and would realize that I started to look forward to it. I've tried stretching, I've tried yoga, I've tried many other things that all seemed sort of a chore and slightly miserable. But the somatics are just something that I look forward to.
In the process of the somatics, we discovered that it's not just an initial investment, you have to expand on it and invest in yourself in the somatics process to get the most out of it.
I offer 2 movements in the article in Dressage today. I demonstrate both of those movements here in short video segments to give you an idea of what the movements look like. A complete video will be available in January for you to be able to purchase on my website. There are a few things you'll want to know while you're doing somatic movements. Move slowly and with awareness. Don't force any movement, and it should never be painful. If it's painful, it's not somatics. Let's get started. Before getting started with movements, you'll always do a soma scan, checking in with your body and noticing what you feel. Prepare yourself by laying flat on the floor. Close your eyes, and when you're ready, bend your knees, putting your feet flat on the floor. Inhale, fill your belly, roll the pelvis forward, and then as you exhale, allow the pelvis to come back to neutral. Flatten your back down, rolling the pelvis up towards your face and allowing that to roll back down to neutral. You'll notice in the image above, you can see my bottom hand on the right is showing you the pelvic movement, and the top hand is showing you the shape of the back and the belly. Do this movement 3 or more times. Continue to keep your knees bent for the next movement. Put your hands behind your head, inhale, arch your back. As you exhale, allow the pelvis to come down, tuck your chin, bring your elbows in, contract, breathe normally, and allow your head and elbows to come back to neutral. Again, inhale and arch your back. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, supporting your head, come forward, push the back down into the table, bring your elbows in, and very slowly releasing back to neutral. Do this movement 3 or more times. Once you're finished, straighten both of your legs and put your arms by your sides. Check in for a moment and do another soma scan to see how you're feeling. Roll over onto your side and come up to seated and go about your day. Do these movements just when you get up and just before you go to bed.
So I basically use my somatics twice a day, morning and evening. It's a great tool for me to figure out where I'm holding, where I'm tense, where I need to learn to release.
So I think it's an important element to the basic foundation of every rider. They should understand these principles and understand how to use them to help themselves and their horses. And I think it's just in general, a positive contribution to the equine community, because we as athletes are focused so much on ourselves. In order for us to do our job with the horses, we need to be 100% in ourselves.
So I can only encourage anybody, not just for their riding career, but even for their life, if they want to be able to turn around in the car, better to look around if a car is coming, or if they want to be able to tie their shoes. It's just been wonderful how much my body has improved. And if you're an athlete, you always will have repetitive movement that will create tension patterns. And I think it would be a fabulous neutralizer to get your body back to neutral in a soft way.
And when I hear people say you've got to get on the treadmill for an hour, I'm like, these people are crazy. They just need to do somatics.
You can tune in and watch my new videos. Share this with your friends. Tell them about it. They will thank you. Go to my website and learn how to feel and move better. And above all, leave your comments and let me know what you need so that I can continue to make videos specifically for you. This is Ryan Moschell for Somatics on the Move.
Can figure out where you're sitting. There we go.
Me?
You're moving, you're like going back and then you're coming forward. Okay.
Practicing my somatics.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to tell you my somatic story?
Please.
With the fly?
Please.
A new way of moving and a new way of recognizing body awareness. So I came to you and had I think I came to you for at least 7 sessions. And keep going.
No, he's like on the microphone at least.
Of course he is.